So I just got done watching the NHL All-Star Fantasy Draft for this year, and look, I think it's pretty clear that that was nowhere near as good as it could have or should have been. Kudos to Michael Bublé and Will Arnett for at least trying to liven things up and make it somewhat entertaining, but plain and simple, this just wasn't executed properly.
Sam Bobrovsky.
Just because Justin Bieber and Tate McRae are there doesn't make it automatically fun. The part that makes me sad though is a lot of people are now going to say, see, this fantasy draft for the All-Star game is just a terrible idea, let's just scrap it, it didn't work. When in reality, that's not the case. The first three in 2011, 2012, and especially 2015, that was the one where Ovechkin was begging, please pick me last so I can have the car. Those were well done, and this is a good idea. If done right, it can be super fun and entertaining. And instead of just piling on like, oh, that was painful to watch, that was terrible, I actually have a few suggestions that I think would make it way better, and if you guys have any, make sure you let me know in the comments as well. Number one, encourage trades. I can't believe we didn't see a single trade in that whole draft. That's like one of the biggest selling points of this thing, one of the things that makes it the most fun. Remember when Phil Kessel got traded for Tyler Seguin at this thing? If you allow these guys to get into a routine where they're just going to pick their teammates or whoever they think is the best player and then move forward to the next guy, they're going to do it. Encourage and create a space where they feel comfortable having some fun with it, making references to real life trades that happen in the NHL, and poking fun at each other rather than just, oh, we need a goalie, Ottinger, come up here. That's what the originals did so well with guys like Nick Foligno, Patrick Kane, Jonathan Toews, and Ovechkin. Secondly, a lot of the players just looked so nervous up there. Maybe they weren't, but for a lot of them it seemed like as soon as it was their turn to talk, they did not want to, and they just wanted to say the pick and get it done as quick as possible. I think a big part of that is these are hockey players. They're not public speakers or comedians. When you say, take it away, Pettersson, in front of a cavernous arena full of people that was dark and didn't really seem to be garnering much reaction from the crowd. Obviously, he was probably a bit louder in person, but a lot of these jokes and stuff, it just seemed like it was absolute crickets in there. I understand the thinking behind putting it in the arena because they had the PWHL 3-on-3 showcase right after, which was an awesome idea, but having the draft which relies on the players speaking for entertainment value being in this huge NHL arena, that's just a setup for failure. That's why every other draft like this has happened in a studio/theater auditorium setting. There you get a much smaller, more intimate, and intense crowd environment. Or if you don't want that, because remember, when it was in Ottawa, there were Sens fans who started a Leafs suck chant and they were chirping Dion Phaneuf. That was so funny. A lot of it already seemed pre-planned anyway, so why don't you just go the kind of studio audience route? I hope they wouldn't do that though. That's like worst case scenario. I think they should just have real hockey fans in an auditorium-like setting like they had back in the day, because it was electric. I really do believe that being in a smaller environment like that would loosen the players up a bit and make them more comfortable and allow them to have some more fun with this. Also, nothing against David Ember. I actually think he's a really good host for Sportsnet, but man, this type of event would have benefited from somebody like Biz or PK Subban being the host, somebody that the players are more comfortable around, who could lighten things up and add more drama and juice to this event, because that's what it needs, man. The hot mics were a good idea though, but again, it just kind of fell short. They didn't use it to its full potential, but that was a nice creative idea in theory, although if it does make the players more nervous and more on edge to be more robotic and squeaky clean, then just scrap that. I was actually quite looking forward to this tonight, so I'm pretty disappointed that in my opinion, it fell flat on its face. I do think it's still a really good idea though, and I appreciate that the NHL even brought it back to try it, and I hope they give it another chance in the future, but with some obvious improvements. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. What did you think about it? If you have any other suggestions, leave them down there. I'll see you in the next one. You're awesome.